said to me when I walked in one day and I hadn't been in the class.
Is that the way the 44 is published? They have lettering of GR, RRR, number 1, number 3. Grass River, 3 R's. Grass River Railroad, why they didn't do G? Definitely should run over to there.
is. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rumble?
I'm live. Oh, no. Hey, guys. Sorry. It caught me by surprise. Model Railroading Live, the #1 model railroading show in the world. You know it. I know it. We all know. And tonight, Model Railroading Live is proud to present Who's Big Bill Talking To? And tonight, we're talking with Mark. Mark from M&M Rails. Get to Mark in a minute, but I got to do this homework stuff because I'm contractually obligated to, or I won't get paid from Model Railroading Live. Tomorrow night on March, March, we're already in March. Can you believe this, Mark? We're already in March.
Can't believe it.
April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 9 more months and we're Christmas. Got to get my list together. Anyway, tomorrow on the 5th of March at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have Johnny's Train Talk Show. That's where you, the guys in the community, can come on in here, just like we're doing right now, where you see me and Mark. And if you have a good webcam and you have a great internet, you can be a part of the program. We can bring and brag anything that you're making, anything that you've got going on, and you want to show it off, come on in. You got a problem? By all means. I mean, when I mean a problem, I don't mean an emotional problem like you're having with the boss or the wife or the kids are upset or whatever. I'm talking in regards to model railroading problems, which we all know are far worse than marriage or kid problems. You know, just
Amen.
Right. They can drive you crazy, you know, leave you up at night. Anyway, you can come into Johnny's Train Talk Show, and we also have a live Q&A as we have here now. And you can ask any questions that are going on with you guys. You know, if anything's happening, you need a question answered, you want to share something, Johnny's Train Talk Show, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, and you can be a part of it. And I think next week, I have to verify, next Wednesday, I'll be back with Model Railroading Live, Who's Big Bill Talking To. I haven't gotten a no, but I believe we're on schedule with Miles Hale, and Miles and I are going to be talking about the Kentile floor sign, that the impetus of the beginning of how that sign was designed, made, and how it came about, and how it can be made. Real simple, 3D printing. But anyway, back to where we are. We're here on talking Who's Big Bill Talking To, and it is my pleasure, my honor to introduce to you Mark from M&M Rails. Mark, how are you tonight?
I am very well. So excited to be here. Such an honor.
Well, thank you for that. It's you know, I just want to clue you in on one little thing. I do put my socks on before I put my shoes, so it's
Really?
we're not that big of a deal. I mean, we're a big deal, but we're not that big of a deal.
I disagree.
You
I've been waiting for years to be on that show. Buckle up. Big Bill.
We wanted to get to the #1 status in the world, and once we achieved the #1 status in the world, then we figured it would honor us to have you on.
Oh,
So that's why we didn't want to be mediocrity, you know, mediocre, or whatever that word is. I don't even know what that word is. The biggest word I know is delicatessen. Anyway, but we wanted to wait until we hit that #1 status. So, you know, and now that we're here you are.
yeah. My head's so big, my wife had to knock me down a few pegs.
So I heard that you had to get the doorways. You know, you had to put that shape.
Couldn't sleep last night. Walking around work with, you know, a little sweat.
Little swagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I know. You know. You know. I understand. I do. I truly. I know. And John's leaving because too much ego is being pumped in. Well, it is our pleasure to have Mark on. And Mark, I was going through some of your videos and I saw a progression of your stuff.
Okay.
know, I could see where you, and at first it was started out as you and your brother, right, Mike?
Correct. Yeah.
Now, Mike's no longer involved, more or less, in the videos, or is he still part of the railroad?
He donates to the railroad every once in a while, and he'll come over and run some trains with me. And if he's at a flea market or somewhere, he'll buy trains. But he's just so busy with work, and he's in 2 bands. He's a drummer in 2 bands, so he's very busy. He doesn't have time for it. But he's the first person I'll text after I complete something on the railroad, and I'll kind of ask for his approval or see what see what he thinks. So he's there in spirit.
Yes, but I see the progression in your videos, like when it first started. How can I say this? And I don't want to make it sound like I'm being, but it seemed like there's a tremendous, like in the beginning of most of your videos, in the very early, it seems almost like, well, we're really not taking this too seriously, and we're going to just have a lot of fun with it, and we're going to be goofy, and we're really just gonna, if it lasts for 3 to 4 months, we'll be happy with that. If we get bored with it, that's it. We'll just go and leave it. Like one of those things.
Yeah.
You can see, because today I spent most of the afternoon, and I was going through the videos, and I could see that progression of it. Like, it's like it started getting serious. You know what I mean? Not so serious that you lost the fun, but serious like it transitioned over to,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not kidding anymore. We really want to do this. And now you have like what? How many subscribers do you have?
I'm almost at 2,000. It's crazy.
I know. I watched you when you got like 90, and then you got 200, and then and I think after the 200, that's when I started seeing the transition of like, okay, this could really be serious. Not in the sense of like, let's make $1 million or something like that. It was like, hey, this is really interesting, and I really like doing this. You could see, not that you didn't really like doing it before, but it was like, hey, we're just goofing around here. Let's just shoot the video. Let's just make something up. Let's just play this.
Yeah.
And
There's a few turning points in the couple of years I've been doing it. One was whenever you Google a certain Atlas product, my video comes up.
does it?
That tells me that a lot of people are going to watch the videos. So it has to be somewhat serious and not totally goofy. And the other thing is, too, I got a lot of comments and feedback saying, I liked your video, but the beginning was a bit too goofy. And
No.
I kind of trim down the goofiness now, the silliness.
I like the goofiness. I like the silly. I do. I watched your recent putting the backdrop up. Especially loved the end. When I saw the end, because what happens is when you look at, everybody does this. If anybody out there, when a guy posts the video up, right, the first thing you look is the time. You look
for sure.
If you see 8 minutes and 15 seconds, you say, okay, I'm going to watch it. If you see 45 minutes, and 15 seconds, you're like, beginning, middle, and right to the end. I'm not going to watch you cut 15,000 pieces of plastic, to each size, So you watch. I'm watching your video with that backdrop, and it wasn't that long of a video. But then I start noticing and there we're at the end. And then I look at the red bar, and I see we got like a lot of red bar left. A lot from the end to there. There's like this much, and I'm like, then all of a sudden you come on the screen, and you're like, okay, hon, the joke's over. Get me off. You got to watch the video to see it. So because it's. What made you think about getting into YouTube video? I mean, you were doing model railroading, right? Give us a little background on how you came into model railroading.
Yeah, so my brother got a train set, the classic train set, the locomotive, a couple of cars, and a caboose, oval track. He got that one year for Christmas or his birthday. We set up on a door, and I got really intrigued. I got really fascinated by it. Kind of took over, and I said, you know what, let's go bigger. Got my dad involved. He bought the lumber. So we did a 4x8 with a couple of switches. And then once that got boring, we went to another 4x8, like an L shape. And if Johnny Webb, you're there, photo number 1, please. Image 1 shows our lake. So 2 4x8s, my dad helped us construct it. We bought the classic grass mat, put it on styrofoam. Yeah. So that's the image there. You can see a lot of track, a lot of switches. They were all wired. And then even so after the L shape, we wanted a roundhouse. We saw a roundhouse in the train store, and we thought, you know what, let's add another a 4x4. So now you have like a C shape or a U shape. So it's pretty intense, or extensive, I should say. And so the great thing is, every Friday night after school, my brother and I would work on the railroad and not fight for a second. If we played basketball, we'd fight. We played soccer, we'd fight. Even like pass the football around, we'd fight. No, mile railroading, no fights. I had my tasks, he had his tasks. He was a little more creative with the building. He would scratch build. And I was more of a track plan, kind of got the wiring going. Speaking of wiring, Johnny, can you go to image number 2? If you look closely, you can see the wires kind of go under the grass mat.
Yeah.
This is all before YouTube, right? The internet was not existed back then. So Mike and I would go to the library and read old model railroader magazines. Just kind of fake it till we make it. We dug out little trenches in the foam for the wiring, and then laid the grass mat over top that. So you can see the little wires coming out from the grass mat.
But Mark, how old were you when you started this? When this was your...
Gosh, I was young, like 31 maybe? No.
Why have you matured?
Gosh, probably started around 16, around there. Yeah, I think 16 years old.
Okay. I just want to comment here that wait, before I don't want to lose it. David Z2G, I'm trying to find it. It says C2G. Oh, he goes, yeah, David Z2G scale says, your humor really adds to your mystique, Mike.
Oh, thank you. It's actually David Z to G, but we'll let it go. So it's David Z to G.
Oh, okay. I'm reading it. David Z2G.
That was a Canadian joke, Bill.
Okay. Well, there it went almost over my head. That's a home run for the Canadians.
So yeah, this is all before YouTube and the internet. So you couldn't go online and buy stuff. So luckily we had a train store close to our house. We could just bike to and from.
Right.
And usually nowadays you have a set plan in place. You say, okay, I want to model this. I'll order this, build it, done. What Mike and I do is go to the train store, look for cheap buildings. Okay, they have the pickle factory on sale. Let's buy that and put on our train set.
Right.
It won't make any sense, but something to build. We'll just throw in the layout. There you go.
Yeah.
By the little fake styrofoam mountain.
Right.
There's a church there. That was a fun build. Again, they had a church at the mall at the train store, so we built the church, threw a light bulb in there. There's a cemetery next to it. Just so like I said, we make
I
it.
think everyone's had that styrofoam mountain at one time.
Yeah. So a lot of fun.
So now you've had this. You and your brother are doing this on Friday nights, not fighting, not punching each other's lights out,
No.
not getting into mom and dad's way, and really being real good. So how long does this last? And does this phase ever end? And then
So I'm trying to think of again, like the 4x8, the next 4x8, then the 4x4. Then I guess we just got older. We got jobs. I went to school, and it kind of just collected dust.
right.
And my parents said, let's take it down finally. So my parents keep everything.
Okay, that's good.
Luckily for us.
Yes.
So I boxed all the models, and I took apart the tables, but before I did, I labeled where the legs went to the table top,
Okay.
A1, B1, all that stuff. And it was in storage for a good, I don't know, 20 years maybe.
Okay.
Got married, had 2 kids, and kids got older. They go to school. I'm bored at work one day, looking at YouTube videos, looking up train stuff, and hey, I should get back into this. My dad still has the 4x8. Convinced my wife to turn the spare room into a train room, and next thing you know, I'm almost at 2,000 subscribers. So quite something.
Oh man.
So my earlier videos, it's the DC layout. It's the original 4x8 table that was that Mike and I built. Our parents. All new track though, and the roundhouse was original. A lot of the rolling stock is original. I think the kits I sold mostly on online. But then we moved to an apartment, my wife and I. So I thought it's a good time to start DCC, and here we are. So a lot of fun.
Does your wife join in on the model railroading, or is she an avid supporter?
She's an avid supporter. Avid supporter. This whole thing, this whole M&M Rails is a family affair. You know, not only Mike is involved, but I have two sons, and my oldest, he plays Ampersand, for those who have been watching for a long time, my Ampersand character. He actually gave me a lot of tips on how to do the video editing stuff. So he sometimes runs the camera for me, does video work. And my younger son, he does some of the music for my videos.
That was going to be one of my questions. On your trip to the Red Caboose when you were in New York.
Yeah.
The music on that, is that your brother's band?
Yes.
I thought so. That was a heavy metal.
Yeah.
That was that was good pairing, New York and the heavy metal.
It's pretty heavy.
It's pretty intense. It is. It's intense.
Yeah.
When did you go to the Red Caboose hobby shop in Manhattan? How long ago was that?
What year was that, honey? 2008, maybe? It
Oh, it was a while.
was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
2009, 2010.
2010. It was a field trip, school trip with my wife and I went to New York, and we had some free time, so I snuck away. Can you believe on a field trip to New York, they didn't have a train store on the stop, or like a rail fan stop? Statue of Liberty, yes. Empire State Building, yes. Madison Garden, yes. Train store, no. I just took off.
How dare they? How dare they? What were they thinking? But you being an avid model railroader, you found it.
I did. It was interesting little place.
It is.
Very claustrophobic, but interesting.
It wasn't a building that wasn't on the ground floor all the time. Anybody who's not familiar with Red Caboose hobby store in Manhattan, it used to be located upstairs. You'd get into a small elevator and you'd go up, and there were other businesses in there, lawyers, architects, whatever, doctors, whatever. So you'd get in the elevator. It was a very small elevator, and you'd get in with all these model railroaders, and lawyers would be going, and you'd get up, and the door would open up right on to the floor, right smack right there. You'd be right in the hobby.
Wow.
It always would be interesting when the door opened. Someone who wasn't a hobbyist, modelist, would go, "Wow, this is pretty cool," you know, and stuff like that. So,
It was in the basement I went there.
yeah. And then it moved. I think it downsized a whole lot. I haven't been there. Like I said, for me to go to Manhattan is really a pain in the neck. You know, you got to take the ferry across, then the train, and I'm not a big Manhattan guy at all. So even though we do broadcast from the greatest city in the world, New York City.
I understand.
Yeah.
No, you can't say hi to him. No. Sorry, Bill. My wife wants to say hi to you. I don't know. No, this is my time. I'm with Bill right now. We'll go to New York sometime. We'll visit him. Sorry, Bill.
It's the price I pay for my super.
Jeez, that's all I hear.
I know. Ever since I made her the head of my fan club, she's just like, she's,
I've been practicing my New York accent, but Boston keeps coming out, you know?
yeah, I know, pack the car, gotta pack the car, doing that Southy accent. I know.
We got Mark from Eminem Reels.
Yeah,
I'm Big Bill, Mark from Eminem Reels. How's that? No?
no, that's a little Boston, or
I'll stop.
water. See, they don't like the way I say water. Coffee, CAFF, New York, YAWK. It's York. It's the rest of you guys out there that don't know how to speak English. It's not me. I know what I'm talking about.
I gotta say, my wife is a huge supporter of the channel, of my hobby. We have a very small apartment, and it's a two-room apartment, a bedroom and a den, and the den is all mine for the training. So I'm very lucky. She's always looking for train shows because I'll go to the train show, she'll go shopping. Very supportive. So
That's good. That's
lucky.
good. That's excellent. That's excellent. That's important. How long have you guys been married?
17 years.
God. Thank God. Well, good for you. God, that's good that she's involved.
And when she married me, she didn't know I was a model railroader, so just a bit of a surprise, the last couple of years.
I know. But it's good to have your significant other involved, and I always find it to be true with my wife. I do. I put tons of accolades on her because she helps me through, everyday life. We've been married for over 45 years, and
Wow.
so she's always there, and she's very supportive of this hobby. But I always like going. I took her one time to. She said, I was going to a train show in Edison, New Jersey. I think I might have relayed this story, and she asked, "What do they do at train shows?" I said, "Nothing really. There's a couple of layouts that are in the back, but it's mostly selling and stuff like that." And she was like, "Oh, can I come?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." I said, "It's not very exciting, and where we're going, there's not a lot of shopping. If you want, no, I'll just come." So we go, and there's this like one guy that's, there's always those couple of guys, that the tool guy, and then the guy who sells the Walters kits. So I had to buy some Walters kits because this layout was in its infancy of being built. So I go up and I purchase, and I go up, and she's right next to me, and the guy goes, "Oh, it's $100 for everything, $100." Wife looks at him and she says, "80 sounds really reasonable." I'm like, so the guy looks at her and he goes, "No, 100." She goes, "No, 80 is really, that's even reasonable. It's cash. 80 works for you, for me, for my husband." So they start going back and forth until finally they arrive at 85.
Wow.
And I'm like, as we're walking away, I said, "Excuse me, who are you?" Who are you? And she says, "I didn't know this was this much fun."
If I brought my wife to a train show, we'd leave with everything. Do you want that? Do you want that? You want that? I'll buy you that.
Well, there's a guy that, there's always that guy with the 3 6-foot tables, and he's got like everything on there, right? It's a mismatch of everything. He's got a sign that says, 4 for $1. So my wife says, "Is everything free? Is everything all fair and game underneath the table?" And the guy goes, "Yeah." So she takes off her coat and she hands it to me, and she says, she gets down in an Indian, sitting like an Indian. And the guy looks at me and he goes, "This isn't going to be good. This is not going to work for me." And Tim was right, because then he started arguing with her. Well, yeah. She said, "No, you said 4 for $1, 4 for $1, and I'm getting 4 for $1." Man, I have tank cars here that I'm still working on and refurbishing from when that was 3 years ago. So I always, whenever she says, "Oh, you're going to a train show? Can I come?" Come on.
That's great.
It was, but it's good. It's nice to have, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice when the family's involved. It's nice
Yeah.
encouragement. It's nice to get that backing. It's nice to know that, and plus the fact they know where we are every night, and we're not sitting in some gin mill someplace, and stuff. What'd you say, John? Soup? Somebody. Can I borrow your wife for the next train show, Big Bill? No. Mine, lock, stock, and barrel. I'm sorry, Spark. I'm sorry. So.
Yeah, I have another brother too, a younger one, Matthew. He has 2 little sons, my nephews. So they come over and play the trains, and they love it. So it just, like you said, the family affair.
It is.
My sons, my wife, my brothers, and now my nephews. I can actually taught my youngest nephew is about 6 about operations. So
that is so good. Tom's Trains and Things says Debbie is his wife. She buys more at the train shows than I do.
oh, I believe it. My wife is the same way.
Yeah. My wife, when we go to the tool guy there and she's like exploring all the different types. She said, "Do you need this? Do you need that?" I said, "No."
Yeah.
"Do you need this? Do you need that?" I said, "No, I can't do nothing with the drill press." I said, "I'm sorry."
My wife's dying to buy me a steam engine.
A steam.
She's just dying to.
Let's get back to the railroad. What kind of rolling stock do you run? I'm looking at Tom's Trains and Things here. Sorry, Marv.
So I love tank cars. As for the road name of tank cars, it's anything goes. I prefer modern now.
What's the thing with tank cars? What is it that you like?
Good question. I don't know. I just like the look, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, we talked about this the other night. They're Brutus stuff. So
actually, John, the layout, the train room is a bit of a mess, but I'll show you what's happening right now. Johnny, can you bring up image number 6? This is the train room. What it looks like now.
while we're getting that up, we got Hunter DX, Big Bill. Do you remember Train Shop Ltd? Was in Manhattan? No, unfortunately, I do not, Hunter. Crazy Joe 67 says, I could use a drill press. I hear you. Question for you, Mark. Mark, he wants to know, when you first wanted to do YouTube videos and did the first one, did Laura just look at you funny or did she buy you the camera?
Gosh, I forget. I don't know. Anyway, this is the wrong picture. This is not the train room. Sorry, it's not that messy.
Hey, that was in my room.
This is the train room. Sorry, number 7. Sorry, it's not that messy. There's a train room. So my wife supported the M&M Rails, the YouTube channel. I forget what her first reaction was. I forget. Honey, remember what happened?
When you first started doing videos?
Yeah.
I think you're a genius. I think you're so creative. I'm a drama teacher, so I think you're at the start.
Anyway, yeah, she's supportive.
That's good. That's the layout itself right there. That with the and yard is in the picture in the frame. That's where you put the new photo backdrop, right?
Yeah, so this is an old photo, but because right now the layout room is pretty messy. So yeah, the CN yard now has a nice backdrop. You go to the right, that's where the my first industry is gonna go, 3M Industry. I just built a warehouse, and that video is coming out after the show. Further right will be residential, so that's where I want to model my parents' house. Where I grew up.
I'm sorry, that's where you want to what?
I want to model my parents' house.
Okay.
Where I grew up, the Via train runs in their backyard. So my brother and I had, we used to throw snowballs at the train when we were younger. That's how close it was. And the dishes in my parents' house would rattle when the train goes by. That's how close it was to our parents' house. So I want to model my parents' house there with the train in the backyard. And then I'm thinking of doing a scrap yard and then a second industry. I'm not sure what yet. It'll be small, but.
Michael Lambertino wants to know, do you weather your trains?
I do not.
He does
Yeah.
not.
A little nervous to weather trains. I weather my kits, but not trains yet.
Container Man 68 says tank cars and tank semi trailers and trucks. Yes, M&M rails.
Hi, Roy. So yeah, Johnny, if you can pull up number 3, that'll show that the backdrop, the CNR with the backdrop, image 3.
SMT mainline Mahano makes fine steam locomotives, and they are easy to find in Canada for anyone that might be looking. Hint, hint, hint.
Yeah, don't encourage my wife, Harrison. So here's a photo of the backdrop. It turned out superb. I'm just so happy with it.
This backdrop, I watched your video today on this, and when I saw this, I was like, you know what I liked about this video? I liked your transparency on it. I liked the fact that you said, well, this is what I did, and this is how I researched it, and it took me several attempts to do this, this, and this. You know, like it wasn't just like, oh, I just put this together like, I was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with banana. I just threw this together while I was waiting for the toast to be popped, I mean, you were really being transparent and saying, yeah, this was pretty difficult, but I managed to do it, and I worked through it.
Yeah. This is probably like a year in the making, or at least 8 months, just thinking about, do I put a backdrop up? Where do I go? How do I do it? There's so many options. Do I paint? So I'm very happy with the end result. Turned out nice. And the comments that I got, just incredible. Lots of good feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. I can say right here and now that this was truly a great, this was good. You really knocked this one right out of the park with this one.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, this was something that was like, hey, wow, we could, and the fact that you went with the photo thing, it wasn't that complicated, and anybody can do it. They just got to set out for it,
Yeah.
David Z2G scale says, my wife, she waited in the car after heart surgery while I ran into Caboose Hobbies and End Supply only because she was not up to walking about. Now, if that isn't love, I said, Dave, she's a keeper.
No kidding.
Dave, any wife after surgery that you would go, you know what, Dave, I can't get really on your case, and your wife is, that really is. But my wife went into labor with my son on a Sunday, and I played a doubleheader softball game in my softball league, and then came back, and she waited until after I came back from softball late in the afternoon to have my son Michael, our son Michael. So, I understand about what wives do for us knucklehead guys. So, Dave, absolutely keeper.
Okay.
Ralph, I have a question from Ralph Franzetti. I'm sorry, Mark. It's just that they have questions and they want.
Sure, of course.
Ralph Franzetti wants to know, why not weather your train?
It's nerves. I'm nervous too. Also, I meant this in the video. I went to a rail yard, the CN yard in Toronto, Ontario, and I saw a tank car that was spotless, no graffiti, no weather. And I want to make a point of that, there are tank cars in rail yards that aren't weathered and graffiti. So
I got you. Well, Ralph goes on to say, Ken Amos Jr., BNO_51 says, great looking backdrop, Mark.
Thank you.
Ralph says that CN Loco is begging for a weathering job. Indian Head Valley Railroad, he says, Mark, I'm surprised that you haven't mentioned Gucci. LOL.
Okay, good segue. Johnny, can you bring up number 8, image 8?
There we go. Look at that. Wilma, you the man, Wilma.
Gucci's the star of the show, pretty much. There he is, the little puggle. Yeah, it's funny because Gucci is actually one of the reasons I started the YouTube channel.
Really?
Our local news here has a segment called "What's Trending," and they always, spend a few minutes to show what's trending on Twitter or YouTube or TikTok or whatever, Snapchat. And I thought I could do that. I could send a little clip to the local channel and be famous for 15 minutes, So I was thinking, how can I do this? People love dogs. I have my train room. Maybe I'll start no dogs in a train room. Didn't catch on that much, but that was kind of my thing for a couple of years. And then I started to get some negative comments because, how you're being mean to your dog.
I didn't think so.
Not at all.
Yeah. And I thought about, well, it does seem kind of negative, no dogs in a train room. So I try to put a positive spin on it now. I involve Gucci in more a positive light. Always try to incorporate him because people love dogs and he's my little buddy. So everywhere I can, I try to incorporate him in the video somehow.
And what kind of dog is Gucci?
He's a puggle, probably more pug than beagle, but half pug, half beagle. He's an old guy too. He's like 13 years old now.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Dave Z to G says Gucci wouldn't pull the sled to G go via after dark live stream last week.
The poor dog, though, back in the day when I did the no dogs in the train room, I used to lure him into the train room just so I could kick him out for the video. It's a poor guy. He was so confused.
That's why he gets Prozac treats now.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's a star of the show sometimes. But
Good looking dog.
the other thing, too, like I said,
Is it both you and your wife's dog, or?
oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
My wife's dog. That's my wife's dog for sure. I came home one day and there's a dog sitting in my living room.
It's nice.
I did not grow up with dogs. My dad was anti-cats, anti-dogs, so I did not grow up with them. Next thing I know, I have a wife and kids, and I come home to a puppy. So
I hear you, brother. My father's motto was, if that dog can't pay or contribute to the household.
Yeah.
The same thing here. Good night, Crazy Joe 67. He's leaving us right now. Hope you enjoyed it, brother.
That's the thing. Before back when I started the channel, I had no idea I would become, almost 2,000 subscribers and so many views. So people who don't follow me regularly just kind of tune in. They'll see one of my popular videos actually of my brother and I making a mountain on our old layout. That's my most famous video, most views. Halfway through, my dog comes in because he's curious what we're doing, and I kick him out because it was my saying. So if you don't follow my channel and not a regular subscriber, you think I'm being mean to my dog, and it's not the case. So I thought I want to rethink this whole no dogs in a train room because I'm becoming more popular. I'm coming up on Google searches, so I'll keep it more popular.
We don't want the animal rights organizations and
Exactly.
America coming knocking at your door. Dogs' lives matter too. Okay.
Yeah.
Take it easy, everybody.
Yeah.
Relax. No, So did you ever think you'd make 2,000 subscribers?
No. I got excited at 100 subscribers. Like, it's just incredible. The community, it's crazy. With the shout out and the support from everyone, and I've met so many people in online and also train shows.
Sure. What was the highlight of meeting somebody that you knew on YouTube? Did that ever happen to you?
Well, back in the day, of course, meeting Sparky at the train show was a big one. Meeting you live in person coming up this summer, I'm sure it's gonna be fun too. My wife wants to go to New York, so
Yes.
that'll be fun.
Yes. We'll give you the 65-cent tour.
And I mean, one of my best friends now, I met through YouTube, Chris from Go Via or Go Home. He's my go-to guy. He's a good modeler. If I'm panicking in the train room, I always text him for support because he knows what he's doing. And I just met him through YouTube.
Now, Chris and Sparky all live in Canada as well. So in proximity, how far are you from?
Chris and I are about 30 minutes, and Sparky and I are about 6 hours, 7 hours.
Okay, that's for me. That would be like a ride up to Buffalo.
Yeah.
From New York to Buffalo. Yeah. All right. Do you and Chris come over and
I see Chris now at least once a month for his live show. If you don't mind, a shameless plug here for GVU After Dark. Johnny, if you don't mind putting up image 4. Chris and I do a live show every last Thursday of the month for about an hour. Very fun on his channel.
You do a live show?
Yeah. It's called GVU After Dark.
Really?
Yeah.
Gotta check. Is this it?
This is it. So
There's
Thursday, March 26th is our next show.
And how long do you go on for? How long?
Well, minimum an hour, sometimes 2 hours, because it's just so much fun.
Right.
And it's once a month. It's not a once a week thing. So
Right. How do you like doing this? It's a live show, obviously,
live show, yeah.
like this is.
Yeah.
Right. But you only do it once a month.
Yeah.
And what are the topics that you cover on this?
Chris goes over a lot of the new releases that companies put out. If there's a news item that he finds online. He started doing N-Scale now. So he does HO updates and N-Scale updates. Product reviews. He always buys new stuff and shows it on there. If we had time, we'll run trains on his big layout. So it varies.
Oh, okay.
Fun time.
So you do mostly reviews and things that are happening in the hobby.
Yeah.
And it's every
last Thursday of the month.
last Thursday of the month. So you're March 26th,
Yeah.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on YouTube.
Yes.
We got guys out there. If you haven't or have,
Go home.
go see it. Go via or go home is right.
Yeah.
Do you Hunter D wants to know? Do you do operations live on that show? I would assume he's talking about that show.
Well, Chris actually, because of the demand of running trains, he now does a live show 2 weeks before the GVU After Dark. So it's just running trains live. If I can make it, I go myself. And I don't think he's got operations just yet, but he has a pretty big layout to do loops and stuff. And
Mark,
so I think next Thursday he'll have a live show just running trains. I'm gonna try and make it there, and that's fun too.
what's your last name, if you don't mind me asking?
Pardon me?
Your last name?
Hashay.
Your wife just commented here.
Uh-oh.
Has she? I haven't. Well, she said that, let's see. Laura has said, Sparky, when Mark got back into trains, he showed me your videos as the standard. He went on and on about you and how popular you are. Now Sparky has to redo all the doorways in the shed because oh, bang.
Yeah.
Laura had it, and now I do that with his channels. I just can't be inventive. He's saying that, Laura. And now I do that with his channels. I just can't be that inventive. Funny. You're pretty funny, Sparky. Laura, Sparky, people would tune in for you if you just stood there. All right, Laura. All right, take that phone away from her.
But he doesn't have that great accent.
People would watch your videos, Sparky, if you were opening up an envelope.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. How's that?
So the last image I have is of my my newest video coming out after this show. It's I built a warehouse for my new industry. the 3M warehouse. If you don't mind, Johnny, image number 5. Now this one I weathered. I don't weather my trains, but I do weather my kits.
We haven't. It's coming up.
Okay, there it is.
There we go.
So the video that's coming out at about 10 o'clock tonight, Eastern time, it'll explain why I chose 3M and how I built that kit. This is from Walters. This took a while to build, but I like it.
How come it took a while to build? May I ask?
Just slow.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's a process. Because I paint it, then I glue it. I bought the roof separate, decals, installed lights, weathered it. So this darn job gets in the way, you know? Gotta work.
Yeah. No. I like the roof detail.
It's actually, I don't want to spoil it, but the roof is actually skateboard tape, grip tape on us from a skateboard.
Okay. You just gave me a great idea.
Yeah. I can't take credit for it though. It's actually Chris's idea. Chris gave me that idea.
Listen, I don't think that any of us in model railroading have an original idea. I think we kind of glean it from each other, you know, like, hey, wow, I could have did that. And, Wilma wants to know from Indian Head Valley Railroad, Mark, have you ever scratch built any of your buildings?
I have not, but I hope to one day because I'm gonna try and scrap build my parents' house in the near future.
Okay.
So see how that goes.
What's that, John? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, John.
So what you do, Mark, is kit bash 2 kits together first, then do your scratch build.
Yeah, you do. I've done that, you know, and then it just gives you a little bit of, you know. This was my first. I actually am doing my scratch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of mistakes here you can't see, and I'm not pointing them out to you. But nah, it's just, you know what, you gotta have. You just gotta take it. You know, every time I go, like I just built. It's That Laser Art. I went and bought the kit from It's That Laser Art. Nick Massey, he's a fellow Canadian as well. And, you know, I was like, I don't know if I can do this build, you know, the whole 9 yards. And my wife kindly reminded me that for 30 plus years, I operated a train for the New York City subway system where no one ever got hurt on my rides. And
Good.
pretty good at what I did. And she says, and you're going to let a little laser cut wood building hit you? And I was like, darn right, I'm not. I'm going to build this thing. So, and sometimes you just need that little, you know, push, you know.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a nice looking building. I like the roof is always good. People always tend to not put stuff on their roofs. We have a tendency when we go to a layout, we look down,
Yeah, of course.
you know, so it's always good to.
Yeah. No, I'm quite happy. Quite happy.
You know, that's a nice build. That's a nice build.
Thank you.
Gonna do any more weathering on it?
I might weather the roof. I'm not sure how to yet, but I think I'm done weathering it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm not going crazy.
All right. All right. What time period? I mean, your railroad, it doesn't have, we talked about this last night and the other night in the tech tune-up that you really don't have a name for your layout, you know?
Not yet. No, it's coming. It's coming. But it is a modern layout. I mean, I'm trying to keep it as modern as possible. Mind you, I just buy whatever trains I want. The trains I buy are, you know, not really specific to an era. If I like it, I buy it.
Yeah, David Z2G Scale said if you can't get skateboard grit paper, they make larger slip resistant stick on threads treads for stairs. Yes, they do. I've seen it at the big box stores. Hunter D says, Big Bill, what lines did you drive? I never was in the IRT. I was in the IND and the BMT. And yes, I did operate R40s, which are now no longer there. Well, 62, what's this? I don't know. It's going too fast here for me. 62, hit the thumbs up. What a great guest. Well, that's from Sparky. 6226. 60 top chat. We got 63 people. This is really the most people we've ever had. Mark.
You're just saying that. Well, that's nice to hear. Thank you.
Okay, so I was just saying that. You're not as popular as I
You know, I gotta say, I don't know if I would do my railroad if there was no YouTube. It really motivates me to work on the railroad, and I make videos because the railroad, and I railroad because the videos. They go hand in hand.
Let me ask you this question, and this just came to me now. What is your thinking, and what is your I guess thinking and perception. When you get thumbs down? Have you ever gotten a thumbs down?
Oh gosh, yeah. That, like I said, that the mountain one, because the dog thing, I got some thumbs down. And my first video of me showing the layout in the small space, I think that's my most thumbs down because of the starting. There's a lot of me frolicking through the forest. I think a lot of people didn't like that. Also, I don't think people thought it was a small space. I think they were kind of disappointed. So a lot of thumbs down. So that was a good turning point too, because I thought, okay, people don't want to see a long mini video at the start of a train video. So some liked it, some didn't like it. Now I try to keep my skits shorter, or I gotta spread them through the video. But
okay. So,
yeah.
But when you get a thumbs down, does it?
One or two that don't bother me, but when there's 15 or 35 thumbs down, then that sends a message that okay.
And there's there, right? But see, my thing is this: like, I don't live to do YouTube videos. I do them after a while, and I do them like I just changed the whole format of this peninsula and everything, and I've done a few of those, and we were doing for the show that we were doing. So I had to keep things under wrap, but now I'm getting back into it. But one of the things I started incorporating is like if I'm going to get I always say in the video, I don't, me personally, I don't push for subscribe, hit the bell, do this, do that. I don't. That's just me.
Yeah.
And what I do say though is if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. But if you don't like the video, obviously give me a thumbs down. But here's what I'd like you to do. If you give me the thumbs down, give me the reason why you give me the thumbs down. I will not and I try to, in the last video, I said, I won't attack you. I won't reach out to find out where you live and come visit you at your home. I just want to know why you don't like the video. You know? And I think that's a more constructive than the thumbs down. The thumbs down can vary for a lot of reasons. A lot of people just don't maybe like the personality of the person or
Of course, yeah.
reason. But if it's about the work and about what you, the creator, have created on your layout, then hey, tell me what it is that you don't like. I may not agree with that. I may disagree with you and say, well, that was my thinking. I had one guy here that for months, I haven't seen him, but I would do a video, and all the guy would do was like right over here. This used to be my son's room. So when he moved out, and there's a cable hookup in the floor that comes up from the basement. And the guy would always ask, what's up with that cable? And I'd be like, it's a cable hookup for a TV. And he'd always reply, well, why don't you hook a TV up in the room? It would be like that. I got it. But it's I just think that sometimes we get a little bit, you know, we get always the thumbs up, and we always, when you put a video out there, you always, on your way to work, or when you get to work, or after work, or you want to check to see what somebody said. And, my wife is like, "What are you chasing your tail for? You don't think they like you?" And I'm like, "I just want to see what they're saying. I just want to know." But you also want to learn from it. I'm always a big proponent of, well, let me learn from what, if you got a better idea, I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll be honest with you. My first thumbs down, I mean, I was hurt with my first thumbs down, but then I realized, wow, I'm big time now. I got a thumbs down. That means someone who doesn't really like me or follow me just because they like me. It's some outsider that just searched my channel, didn't like it, gave me a thumbs down. That's okay. Like I said, people Google how to do this, how to do that. I pop up, they watch it. This guy is silly. Thumbs down. That's okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Exactly. And you have to, if you're getting one or two, one, then it's just somebody who didn't like it. But obviously, if you're getting 40 people with thumbs up and 20 of them are thumbs down, then there's a ratio where, like, okay, so what did I say? Was it that I said about something, or did I say something to upset? Again, you gotta, and again, being on video, you gotta be really careful what you say.
That's right.
And stuff, because you can say it in an offhanded way, but it may be misconstrued, and the next thing you know, you're in a, you're being contacted by, YouTube channel, and they're telling you got to take down your stuff. So it's just about having fun and enjoying it. Eminem has a great channel, Sparky says, and binge watch. Where is it? Binge watching, and binge watch his contact. I will say you'll have a good night of laughs.
Thanks, Dave.
Tom's Trains and Things says thumb downs means success. To a certain extent, I agree with that.
That's how I take it. And also, like, as you say, for feedback, I think if one person leaves a negative comment, that might be one person out of many. If one person thinks that means my dog, then maybe a lot of people think that. So
yeah, that's true. In a situation like that, I can understand about the dog. I really could.
Yeah.
But and that's again, that's hindsight on hindsight is always 20/20. Obviously, we can always go into what that's about. But getting the thumbs up and the thumbs down, it's always amazes me about why people would go to, and the thing that, and one of the things I understand about this, I had to block a guy.
wow.
I had to block a guy because he was getting like really stupid. So I don't know how he got a hold of me, but he got a hold of, and he said he was going to go under an assumed name and redo it and then make my life miserable again. To which I went back to him and said, that's fine. But what you don't understand is that it counts whether you give me a thumbs down or a thumbs up. So it works in my advantage. If you don't want to see my content anymore, then unsubscribe to me.
Yeah, exactly.
See, but when you do that, then it's, I'm benefiting. You know what I'm saying? Because the thumbs up or the thumbs down, I'm still benefiting because YouTube is seeing it as people watched it. So it's, it's like nuts, and stuff. But it's the politics of the,
Yeah.
You are naked. This is a great turnout tonight. No pun intended, but I will take it anyway. SMNT Mainline says video games were taking me away from working on the layout, so I stopped maintaining it. Things started going downhill fast. That Hunter D he's talking to. What's his name was on here? Trying to see where he was. I wanted to say hello to him earlier, but Model Railroader, there he is. Model Railroader. Eminem Rails isn't Eminem Rails without the skits. That's up, Model Railroader. Anyway, that's that. What's the best thing you like about doing trains and stuff?
If I'm being honest, it's making the videos. That's what I like to do the most.
No, please don't be honest. Lie to us. Blow smoke up our skirt. Really.
My favorite thing is weathering locomotives. I just don't have the time.
There you go. There you go. That's what we want to hear. We don't want to hear about you making it. No, is it really making videos?
It truly is. I really enjoy it. I'll spend hours on making videos.
Really?
I'll the guy at work. They want a video done at work. Mark, you busy? No, I'll do it. It's fun for me. It's not work. It's fun. I really enjoy it.
Do you think of creative ways to introduce your videos and to like the last video you did on the obviously on the background thing? How did the idea of putting you on the wall, was that something you had thought about, or just
I was trying to think of that because I figured this question would come up. I don't know. It just came to me.
okay?
Some thoughts come to me when I'm walking my dog. I got to write it down real quick before I forget. Sometimes it'll come to me in a dream. Or sometimes other YouTubers will inspire me. I'll watch a video and I'll say, okay, I'll try that. I could do that. Or that'd be a good spin.
Yeah. You on Naked Floor says God the Father above could post a video and someone would give it a thumbs down. Amen. You're absolutely correct, brother. You're absolutely correct. Oh, Tom's Trains. Tom's Trains. I'm looking at Tom's Trains and things. Says I love the English professors who criticize our accent. LOL. Mark's channel is M&M Rails. M and M. There it is. You have to stand up a little more. There we go. M&M Rails. I would love to see a Canadian live stream together one night with only Eminem, Govia, and Sparky and SMT. Could happen, David. Sparky says.
You never know. Could
That's
happen.
a tall order. Who knows?
Could happen.
Rock and Roll Train says, I love HO scale trains. And that's what your scale is, right? It is HO?
It's HO, yeah.
Yeah, it's HO. Good. Mark, Sparky wants to know, what is your favorite video that you have posted?
That I've made?
Yeah.
You know what? I think my favorite one is the first part of the DCC journey of me going through the snow. That was a lot of fun to make, and it was actually it's the first video, Bill, where you actually commented and said, "Wow, okay, I like your stuff." You probably don't remember that, but I thought, "Wow, Big Bill commented on my video. I got his interest."
I always was interested in your videos. I always liked them.
Okay.
That
one, I remember you commented on that one.
Oh, yeah. Sparky says a visible paint is my favorite.
Yeah, they're fun to do. Again, it's all the editing, right? Video editing. I enjoy that kind of stuff. So.
Right. Rock and Roll Train says, Mark, have you seen my HO layout?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm writing it down. Rock and roll.
Is that your name of your channel, Rock and Roll Train? What's the name of your, you type it out here. Meigs County Railroad. I'm new to the hobby and soaking up all the info I can. I'm building a railroad for my grandson. Well, welcome aboard, Meigs County. I hope I'm saying that right. MEIGS, Meigs County. I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, welcome to my Railroading Live. Yes, this is if you have, and all these other guys here too. Sparky 107, that's the name of his channel. M&M Rails. I know it's a lot to digest at this time, but just tune in. Model Railroading Live. Tomorrow night we'll be on with Johnny's Train Talk Show. That's tomorrow, the 5th, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He'll be on. You can come on down to the general store where Johnny is and pull up a chair, pull a soda pop out of the cooler, and talk about model trains and anything that's going on in model trains. You know, it's a good thing. So welcome aboard. Yeah, rock and roll. Yes, sir. This is the name of his channel. So everybody head over to Rock and Roll Chains. Sparky Eminem Rails channel is Mark. What is your favorite video that you have posted? Okay, we already went through that. Meigs County Railroad says, ironically, I live in the only county in Tennessee with 0 railroads or tracks.
Huh.
Oh.
Bless you.
And as a true model railroad, I'm going to take my paint rag and at my nose. Okay, so Mark, thank you so much for being on the show for Who's Big Bill Talking to You tonight for March 4th, 2020.
Thank you.
Appreciate this. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time.
I had a great time. Blast.
Yeah, we have to, keep in touch and keep doing this. Maybe we can collaborate on a few projects together for Model Railroad Live. It would be nice.
And like I said, my wife and I are dying to try the pizza down there, up there in Staten Island. So
Danino's Pizzeria. Danino's absolutely voted the #1 in New York City, and we have a few other places we can go to try some. We could try my wife's home cooking, which is absolutely off the hook, dude. It's off.
I look forward to it.
What's that?
I look forward to it.
Yeah, and then afterwards we'll take a ride down to Ralph's Italian Ices down on Port Richmond Avenue. Been around for hundreds of years, and the best ices. I'm partial to pistachio myself, but he's got they got tons of stuff. Looking forward to having you out there. And thanks again for being on the show. I really do appreciate it. I had a ton of fun. Say hello to your wife, Laurie, if she's right there, right next to you. Hello. Thank you, Laurie, for being so supportive of this guy and being a great supporter of model railroading.
She's the best.
She is. She's a keeper.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being a part of this. Well, we're concluding tonight's Model Railroading Live, Who's Big Bill Talking To, on the greatest #1 model railroading show in the world. Would you agree, Mark?
I agree. #1.
Oh, see, there we go. We're shooting right on the skyrocket right there. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. And next week, we're going to have Miles Hale on. And Miles and I will be discussing the beginning of the Kentile Floor sign that he made, actually. I put together. He sent it to me. But we're going to discuss it, how it was made, why it was made, and what its function is. It's a real big sign. If you guys haven't seen it, go check out my video on South Brooklyn Railroad. An unabashed plug for my channel. But anyway, go check it out. The Kentile Floor sign. It's called New Sign, New Peninsula, New something like that. Anyway, check it out. And that's going to be with Miles next week. 9 p.m. Central Time. That's on 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I apologize for that. With Miles Hale. And tomorrow night is Johnny's Train Talk Show. And John, do we have any other shows lined up? And who do we have that's coming up soon? Because March 10th, we have Andy. Oh, March 17th will be Ralph's Weather. I would suggest you watch that show, Mark.
Okay.
It's on weathering. Ralph Renzetti, the Mudfather. Yes, the Mudfather. He's really good at what he does. He really does. And he explains it in such a way that weathering may seem difficult, but when Ralph explains it, like, wait a minute, I can do that.
Okay.
He presents it in such a way that it's not overly complicated. So Ralph's weathering show is pretty good on the 17th of March. Tune in. It's pretty good. He's a nice guy too. That helps. You know what I'm saying?
It does, yeah.
It does. You know, because we pay these guys a lot of money around here. You know, budget. Mark, if I could tell you our budget, I don't even want to get into it. Let me do this. Negotiate. I don't know what you do with your money, John. Hey, you should see us negotiate contracts. The yelling and the screaming, ridiculous. People think this is all fun and games. It's not.
Hey, I just got your e-transfer. Thank you. That's a lot of zeros. That's a lot of zeros. Wow.
See what I'm saying, Mark? See?
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, that's the kind of hairpin group we are.
Yeah.
You know what our motto around here is, Mark?
What's that?
When you eat, we eat. When you drink, we drink. When you pay, we all pay. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I had a real good time, as you can tell. It was interesting. It was fun. And we had a good time. Thank you guys for joining in tonight, because obviously without you, we're just talking a dead ass. So with that said, you guys take care. God bless you all. And we'll see you guys on the radio.